Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Respected dignitaries, speakers, and all my dear delegates, a pleasant good morning to one and all. On this glorious day, we have gathered here to mark the inaugural of Internet Society India Hyderabad Chapter. I, Harini, on behalf of Internet Society India Hyderabad Chapter, would like to welcome you all on this wonderful event. Internet Society is a global non-profit organization empowering people to keep the internet a force for good, open, globally connected, secure, and trustworthy. It is where we collaborate and innovate for a better world and where we share our hopes and strengthen our bonds. It has more than 110 active chapters across 6 continents, and we are very glad to launch the Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter. We feel honored to have with us today Christine Saeger, Senior Director, Chapter and Individual Members, K. Mohan Raidu, Director, Informatics India, Mr. Satish Babu, Chair, APRALO, Mr. Samiran Gupta, India Head, ICANN, Ms. Akriti Bopanna, Policy Advocacy Manager, Internet Society, Mr. Dhruv Dhody, Chief Standards Architect at Huawei Technologies India, Mr. Ajith Francis, Internet and Jurisdiction Policy Network France, Mr. Thank you all for joining us today on this auspicious day. Now I would like to invite Dr. Salman Abdul Moiz, Vice President of Internet Society India Hyderabad Chapter, for the program introduction. Over to you, sir.
Salman, are you there? Looks like Salman had some.
Salman is on mute.
Is he there?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Salman, you're audible.
Okay, good. Please take.
Okay. Am I audible, right?
Yeah, you're audible. Yes.
Yeah, good morning to you all, and sorry for that disturbance. So I take this opportunity to welcome the dignitaries, esteemed guests, members of the Internet Society, and other invitees to the inauguration ceremony of this Internet Society Hyderabad chapter. In general, I welcome the international networks community to this particular esteemed event with a theme of future of Internet. So this inauguration ceremony also includes sessions on Internet and its ecosystems by eminent speakers from various networks, organizations, as well as the societies. So let me just take you through today's program. Initially, there will be a chapter declaration by Christine, then the welcome address by the chair, that is President of the Internet Society Hyderabad Chapter, where President K. Mohan Raidu will be welcoming and presenting the officers in the Advisory Bureau to all the members here. Then we have a talk on relevance of ISOC community for India by Satish Babu, Chair, Asian, Australasian and Pacific Islands Region at Large Organization of Internet Corporation. And followed by, we have a talk on importance of Internet governance discussions in India by Samiran Gupta, Head India ICANN Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Then we have a talk by Ankit Bopanna, Policy and Advocacy Manager, ISOC, on strengthening the Internet project. Then there will be a talk on bridging the gap between India and Internet standards by Dhruv Dhody, the Internet Engineering from Internet Engineering Task Force. Then we have a talk on legal interoperability on Internet by Ajith Francis, Internet Jurisdiction, United States. And followed by the Eternal Principles of Internet by J. Satyanarayana, the chief guest of the particular day, of the day. So I take this opportunity to welcome all. Then we have a particular talk on Internet Principles of the Internet, as I already said. The J. Satyanarayana is the chief advisor for Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution, India World Economic Forum, which plays an important role today in the fourth generation. So with this, I welcome you all for this particular program. Over to you. Thank you.
So hello, everyone. I'm just jumping in here, right?
1 second.
I would. Mohan?
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, Harini. Harini?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like to invite Christine Ma'am, Senior Director, Chapter and Individual Members, to kindly take over the session from here. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Harini. And welcome to everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all, and it's a big pleasure and honor to be with you all today on this call to inaugurate one of our new chapters, the India Hyderabad chapter. So it's a pleasure to see so many of you connected here online. I just want to, I'm not taking a lot of time because there are a lot of really good speeches coming up, but I just wanted to give you a bit of a bigger picture on on the global community that you're joining with your new chapter. So let me just quickly share my screen. Can I stop the other screen share just for a quick moment? Okay, I think that should work. Okay. I hope you can see this.
Yes.
Okay, so Internet Society chapters and special interest groups are the connectors that bring our members together globally. So we currently have about more than 70,000 members globally, individual members that join the Internet Society. And chapters are formed by these members in various locations around the world. They run programs and activities dedicated to making a difference locally. They inform policy and educate the public about internet-related issues, and they help us advance the Internet Society's goals of an open, globally connected, secure and trustworthy internet at the local level. All by participating, of course, in our global discussions at the same time. So currently we do have 124 chapters and 10 special interest groups around the world. So you can see the map here with all the yellow dots that are our current active chapters. We do have 19 in Asia Pacific as of now. So these are the numbers pulled on 8th of April. These do change over time, but that's the current situation. So you're joining this big map of chapters around the world. So with a little zoom on India, you can see we have now 6 chapters in India, with one of them, an additional one being in rejuvenation. So hopefully back and active as soon as possible. So that's our chapter community in India that you're joining today with this inauguration. And I just want to say a big welcome to our Internet Society community, to the new chapter in Hyderabad. It's a big pleasure to have you on board, and I look very much forward to collaborating with all of you over the next few months, years. So it's a pleasure to have you. Mohan also invited me to read out the letter, the welcoming letter that was received by the chapter from on behalf of our Board of Trustees. So I will just follow up with that. And we'll read out the letter that is signed by Gonzalo Camarillo, who is the chair of the Internet Society's Board of Trustees. This letter was sent to Mohan on 16th of March, so very recently. And it says, Dear Konadam Mohan Raidu, I'm pleased to inform you that the Internet Society Board of Trustees passed a resolution welcoming the new Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter during our meeting yesterday. So that was on 15th of March. You and your fellow chapter members are now part of a global community focused on promoting the open development, evolution, and use of the internet for the benefit of all people throughout the world. We look forward to your participation and to learning about your chapter's activities. Congratulations and best wishes for your success. So that is the official welcome from our Board of Trustees, signed by Gonzalo Camarillo. And with that, I would like to hand back to Harini.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for taking your time from your schedule and gracing our event. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Now, I would like to take the permission of Mr. J. Satyanarayana, sir, to let us start the inaugural of Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter by performing curtain raising on our virtual platform. Sir?
Yeah. So let me first congratulate and compliment all the members and the management of the Hyderabad chapter, and also the Internet Society at the global level for this excellent initiative. And I declare the Hyderabad chapter open.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. All the best.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do. Let us wish this light of education take over the darkness of differences, injustice, and violence in the world and guide us towards progress, equality, and freedom. To make this morning a blessed one, let us invite Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. Now, we shall have a classical performance by Sneha on Sivarandavam. Prashant, can we please have the video? Thank you, Sneha, for reminding us of God Shiva and giving a holistic start for the event. A gentle reminder, I request all the attendees other than the panelists to kindly switch off their videos for better streaming purposes. Now, I humbly invite K. Mohan Raidu, Founder President of Internet Society India Hyderabad Chapter and Director of Informatics India Hyderabad. He is also working as Chairman of ICT Committees of FTCCI, Federation of. I welcome Mohan sir to give the welcome address and conduct the presentation of officers, advisory board and functional committee. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Dear Gonzalo Camarillo, the Chairman of Board of Trustees of Internet Society, Mr. J. Satyanarayana, Chief Guest of today's event, and the Chief Advisor, C4IR India, World Economic Forum, and Chief Advisor, National Digital Health Mission, Government of India, Mr. Satish Babu, Chairman APRALO, that is Asia Pacific Regional at-large organization, Mr. Samiran Gupta, India Head ICANN, other distinguished speakers, fellow governing board members, advisory board members, functional committee chairmen, fellow officers from other Internet Society chapters, event delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to you to this unique event of Internet Society India Hyderabad Chapter Inauguration. Future of Internet. The first tech event of our chapter will start now. Good tech sessions are scheduled for this event, and the best of the speakers are going to address us. I have organized the Hyderabad's first two-day internet workshop as early as in October 1996 at the Hotel Deccan Continental, Secunderabad. Mr. Ramalinga Raju, chairman of the then Satyam Computers, was the chief guest. That was the beginning period of internet. And when it's ISOC, I took membership in 2014. I attended a tech session on ICANN at CSI Kolkata Convention in 2016 and met the IOC leaders, Mr. Satish Babu and Mr. Samiran Gupta, etc. The fact that Hyderabad is most happening city in IT, with the presence of world's largest companies, and that there is no Internet Society chapter here, made us to apply for one in 2018. The application processing went through several stages, and we were asked to register a society with the government registrar. Consequently, we have registered a society by name Association for Internet Development with the Registrar of Societies. And finally, we have received this letter of charter for Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter on March 16, 2021 from the Chair Board of Trustees, Mr. Gonzalo Camarillo. I thank Mr. Satish Babu for helping us at every stage in this whole process. We have held 2 technical sessions at IIIT Hyderabad during the chapter application processing period. Many thanks to Professor Krishna Reddy, who has hosted us there. Our chapter runs on 4 pillars. First is the ISOC members. Then second, 9 functional committees headed by committee chairman. Then we have a 12-member advisory board and the 10-member governing board. Details are of the names are available on the website, chapter website. I'm happy to share with you that we have an ISOC SIG on rural development chartered in Hyderabad itself, headed by Adarsh BU, who is on this chapter's governing board too. Internet Society works closely with IAB, IETF, ICANN, IIE SOC, IGF of UNO, ESG, IRTF, IGF USA, Internet Jurisdiction, and INSIG, etc. We will drop internet projects soon in collaboration with these bodies, the industry and the governments. A few universities and colleges have already invited us to open ISOC student branches. We will start the ISOC student branches soon. With that, the scope of works will expand manifold. Those of you with interest are welcome to take membership in ISOC, to team up with us for working with a technological and community cause. Membership is free for now. I thank Aisha, Shakira, and Christine at the ISOC headquarters for their continuous support in chapter formation and the chapter management issues. Thank you. Thank you. That's it, Harini.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your efforts. We really appreciate your efforts in bringing Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter. Thank you so much, sir. I'm very glad to invite Satish Babu, Chair APRALO, to speak about the relevance of Internet Society community for India. We are happy to have you with us, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're loud and clear.
Right. Thanks very much. Respected dignitaries, ISOC Hyderabad chapter leaders and members, and distinguished guests, particularly Christine and Aisha, who are here today. Good day to everybody. I bring you greetings from the ICANN at large community, the ISOC chapters community, and the INSIG community, of which I'll be touching upon later. Congratulations to ISOC Hyderabad, ISOC India Hyderabad to be correct, for becoming an official chapter. And as mentioned, this has been a long process since January 2018. That shows how rigorous ISOC the due diligence process is. So that's very important to note. Now, I think Hyderabad is an excellent location for a chapter because it's a IT hub. And I'm sure the chapter, as can be seen by the website, the chapter has plans for a number of important activities and services to their community here. ISOC, as Christine mentioned, there were 6 chapters so far. One of them is undergoing rejuvenation. With Hyderabad joining in, we have 7 chapters, and I think this is the highest for any country in the world. And these chapters have a lot of potential, both individually in their own regions and also collectively in the country as a whole. Today, India has about 750 million internet users, but this is only 53% of our population. And as we saw during the COVID pandemic, the internet is a lifeline today. And the ISOC chapters have a role in influencing the current and future users of the internet so that they can use the internet safely, securely, productively, in their own languages, and use it as a tool for empowerment and innovation. But even more importantly than being just end users, the internet is governed through a whole ecosystem of organizations. Mohan Raidu had mentioned some of them when he spoke, most of which are open for participation by anyone who's interested. This is quite in contrast with other organizations like, for example, the WTO, which does not allow even observers from civil society. So the internet's model is very different. It's a multi-stakeholder model. This model treats all stakeholders as co-equal. Therefore, in addition to being end users, the ISOC community, every member of our community is expected to be actively engaged with the internet-related policy, technology, and practices. And ISOC, the whole community, we are also expected to articulate the points of view of our own communities in the global and national internet governance processes. Now, one key area that all the chapters have been involved since 2016 is the India School on Internet Governance, or INSIG, which is the program that's run by the group of all chapters. Now, coincidentally, the first edition of INSIG was held in IIIT Hyderabad in 2016, when the ICANN 57 meeting took place there. Subsequently, we had editions in Trivandrum, Delhi, Kolkata, and a virtual edition hosted last year by ISOC Mumbai. The 2021 edition will be hosted by ISOC Chennai. So as you can see, the INSIG is a roving program that moves from city to city, but has participants in the whole country and also abroad. Apart from direct capacity building and nucleation of a practitioner community, INSIG has also provided a common platform for all chapters to dialogue and also to consider taking on new programs. The structure also ensures leadership continuity. For instance, INSIG has incubated something called the India Youth IGF, which has already held 3 editions from 2018. And this is only for the youth. Since Mohan Raidu mentioned their plans for the youth and students and all that, this is a useful overlap. In addition, INSIG has also been hosting meetings of the Global Forum on Cyber Expertise. This is GFCE, which is an intergovernmental program, which is based out of The Hague, aimed at enhancing trust in the internet. Now, the chapter community in India, we are delighted to have ISOC Hyderabad as a part of a community. And later this evening, we are holding a virtual meeting with all the Indian chapters where we will formally welcome them and discuss with them some of their future plans. I'd like to take this opportunity to once again congratulate Mohan Raidu on the whole ISOC Hyderabad team. And I'd like to wish you many years of productive and meaningful work in the future. Thank you very much, and back to you, Harini.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I hope with all of your support, Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter will definitely go to glorious levels. Thank you so much, sir. Now, let me invite Samiran Gupta, the head of India for ICANN and a veteran in business strategy and public affairs management. I request you to, sir, to please share his views on the importance of internet governance discussions in India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Harini. And I wonder if I'm audible because I can get some background sound.
Yeah,
I
you're audible.
request everyone to go on mute who are not speaking. That would help.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me on this very auspicious occasion of the inauguration of your Hyderabad ISOC chapter, or rather ISOC India chapter in Hyderabad. You know, on behalf of ICANN, I extend our heartiest congratulations. ICANN has a special relationship with Hyderabad. We held possibly the largest ever ICANN meeting, public meeting, in November of 2016 in Hyderabad. And from that point on, I have been particularly enamored by the spirit of industry, of spirit of fellowship that I've found with you know, the community members based in Hyderabad. So today's topic of discussion is the future of internet, but I chose to digress a little bit. I'm going to speak obviously in very briefly about the future of internet, but I would really like to take a half step ahead and speak about potentially the significant role that ISOC Hyderabad can play in internet governance. So the internet is, as you know, Satish mentioned, you know, it's a marvel of technology and has touched over 4.6 billion people worldwide. During the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the internet has supported communities, nations, economies in ensuring that work does not come to a standstill. The technologies that support the internet are the same technologies which have other applications too. Now, the internet is governed in a multi-stakeholder model. What that means is every user potentially can participate in shaping how the internet is governed. And India has over 600 million internet users. So we have a rich but challenging diversity of languages. But can you for a moment imagine if the internet reached everyone in their own languages, the power that it would bring to people? There are so many positives and so many positive uses of the internet, but users need to participate in ensuring that the internet remains a force of good. This is where the ISOC chapter Hyderabad, ISOC India chapter in Hyderabad can play a role in spreading awareness, supporting end users, technical communities, academics, and in realizing the potential of the internet. It is an opportunity to motivate the young and old to come and get involved. It is an opportunity to share best practices, perhaps on cybersecurity. You know, just yesterday, I was speaking at the Bangladesh School of Internet Governance, and somebody asked me a question about bringing more rural folk into internet governance. And again, the same question can be asked about communities in India. And I hope, you know, the Hyderabad chapter of ISOC will take the lead in some of these discussions. So the opportunities are endless. So in closing, once again, let me congratulate the all those involved in establishing the ISOC Hyderabad chapter. And I wish you every success in your endeavors, and please do stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights on internet governance. Thank you, sir. It is our pleasure to have you with us today. Now, I take the pleasure to invite Akriti ma'am, the Policy and Advocacy Manager, ISOC, to speak a few words on strengthening the internet project. Over to you, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here. It's really exciting to be here on the inauguration of the new chapter. My colleague Neeti and I joined very recently in Jan and Feb as the policy and advocacy managers in India. So we're excited to see the opening of a new chapter. We're seeing a time in India with a lot of extensive digital policy evolution, and we hope to contribute to it positively through our work at ISOC. And ISOC's focus for the year ahead is something that I would like to talk about for a few moments, because these two projects are relevant to our priorities in India right now. One of them, as Harini mentioned, is the Strengthen the Internet project, and the other one is Grow the Internet project. And our Growth Internet project essentially focuses on narrowing the digital divide. That was something that Samiran was just talking about how do we get the other half of the world that's unconnected right now, and how do we have them access the internet. So some of our work focusing and revolving around that looks at improving established community networks and internet exchange points and deploying new ones, supporting sound and decision and policy making through our platform Pulse, which essentially comes out with reliable insights and data about internet shutdowns and the internet way of networking. We're looking at training individuals to equip communities with technical expertise, and some of them can be involved from our chapters. And essentially the internet as we know it today flourished because of its open architecture and foundation. But this also lends itself very vulnerable to a lot of attacks. So our focus on Strengthen the Internet project is essentially to make sure that the reliance of the internet stays how it is. Two projects within that is one is the internet way of networking, which gives policymakers the first tool of its kind, which is an internet impact assessment tool to analyze how potential regulation affects the foundation of the internet. It helps regulators easily analyze the consequences of their laws on the foundation and architecture of the internet. Our encryption work revolves on around ensuring all forms of encryption are popularized and protected. We've created the Global Encryption Coalition for this, for like-minded individuals and organizations to join us in this endeavor. So I encourage any of you who are who either individually want to participate or who have organizations that are involved in this kind of work to join the GEC, to reach out to us, because essentially we hope to engage with the chapters in our course of work to make sure that we're all contributing to the policy environment positively. And we're really excited to have one more community, do this with us. So do feel free to reach out to me for anything, and all the best to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for briefing us on that project. Thank you so much. Now, I request my co-host, Renu, to kindly take over the session from here. Over to you, Renu.
Thank you so much, Harini. Firstly, again, a very good morning to all of you. So it's been so great being in a meet with great people. So now, continuing to my host, now I would like to invite another eminent personality, Mr. Dhruv, the IETF, who is with us today to give few insights on bridging the gap between India and internet standards. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Do you mind if I share my screen?
No, sir, you can. Prasad will be giving you the access, like presenter access. Yes, sir.
So hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. So I'll give you a very quick introduction to IETF and some of the activities that we have been doing in the organization called ISOC. And this will be a very quick introduction, and hope how we can work with the ISOC Hyderabad chapter as well. So IETF, I'm sure most of you would be well aware of in the ISOC circles, but for those uninitiated, IETF is a premier internet standards body which has been developing open standards through open process. So mission of the IETF has been to make internet works better by producing very high quality technical documents called RFCs. I'm sure most of you have heard that word, where IETF outputs in terms of internet standards are published. It's done through an open process. It believes in anybody can participate. All materials are completely open. It believes in technical competence. That means anybody can give an input, and their input will be completely looked into from the point of view of the technical inputs. It's done as a volunteer organization, as in it doesn't have a membership. Anybody by joining the ITF mailing list becomes an ITF participant. The idea of how the standards are published is based on rough consensus and running code. It's not done based on voting or membership. So we continue to have very vigorous discussions on ITF list and ITF meeting. And towards those discussions, the aim is to come to a consensus that everybody can live with. And also the running code plays a very important role. And then ITF takes ownership of the protocol, not just in terms of the protocol definition, but in their operation, maintenance as well. So this was a very short, quick introduction to ITF for those who may not be aware of it. But some of us ITFers from India who have been going to the ITF meeting, we established this organization called ISOC. It's a non-profit entity which has been bringing lots of people from the industry, academia, service providers, all in the aim of increasing the participation in ITF from India and bridging the gap that exists between the internet standards and the participation from India. We established this around 2017. We wanted to see, like, India is such a big country, but why we don't see many participation from India when we used to go to the ITF meeting. So with this aim, we established this organization. We have in fact partnered with a lot of ISOC chapters in the past. ISOC Kolkata had helped us with co-locating an event back in 2019. ISOC in fact has sponsored our connections event throughout. So we have had a very good history of partnership with ISOC, and our hope is that we can continue the same with the ISOC Hyderabad chapter. I will give a very quick introduction of the kind of things that we do, so that that can also help us, because we share a common mission. ISOC has always supported ITF, and ITF participation has been a key activity. So this is where one area where we hope that our vision aligns and we can work together. So I will give a very quick introduction of some of the activities that we are currently doing. We are running an IPv6 webinar series with the aim of increasing the IPv6 deployment, especially in the universities and enterprises. In fact, India is doing quite well when it comes to the mobile IPv6, but when it comes to within our universities and our enterprises, still IPv6 deployment is less. So we have been focusing on this, and a webinar series is on the way. You can find more information at the website, but in spirit of time, I will not go in detail. We do a meetup called RFCs We Love. This is basically people come up and talk about the RFCs that they are planning to implement, they have helped written, or they have just read and they like to discuss it more. So a lot of interesting topics like data center, IoT, network management, network slicing, all of these have been discussed in the past. So this is again an area where we hope, more technical discussions related to ITF and internet standards can happen within this venue. The Connections, as I was mentioning, is our annual event. We have done it in Bangalore and in Kolkata, and hopefully, when the world is moving, is back to normal, we might come to Hyderabad and do this event there as well. This is our flagship event. We try to bring in lots of people from ITF as well as people in India who are working on interesting technologies to talk about internet standards work that they have been doing. Lots of talks on IoT, SDN, IPv6, security, etc. And we have been thankful to ISOC for sponsoring this, all the past events since 2017. They have always helped us in running these events, and we have been very, very thankful to them. This time it was in fact an online event. We did a 5-day online event this time, which went quite well, and we hope to do this again this year. I will move this pretty quickly and come to the main part. So since we have started this, when I was making this, I was also thought of how are we doing? Has this effort led to anything? So main thing that we would see is actually the participation from India in ITF meetings has been increasing. And in fact, in some ways, the world going online and it's being free to participate, nobody needs to travel. That has also opened up venues and people have been participating regularly. So this is one of the sort of a good side effect of the current situation that we have been there. But I hope that this could continue even in future. The RFC's publication from India, that is Indian authors writing RFCs, that has been improving. I've provided a link at the end where you could see, like, how many Indian folks have been writing RFCs, how many authors are coming from India, which has been quite increasing regularly. In fact, we now have 4 ITF working group chairs, I being one of them. I chair a PC working group in the routing area, and we have other chairs as well in routing, in internet, and in security area as well. So this is also shows that India's participation in IETF has been on a rise. So some things we are doing quite well. But where we are lacking, Indian engineers are focused more on implementations and not on standard setting. So most of the time when we go to, I was one of those people who was writing and implementing a lot of standards, and I never thought that I could play a role in actually setting the standards. So that barrier needs to be broken at multiple levels. So that's something that we need to continue to work with all the organization and show that Indian engineers' capability, not just as an implementation powerhouse, but also a role in R&D and standard setting. We have such giant Indian operators and universities, but their participation in ITF is still quite lacking. And we hope that with this participation and with the help of ISOC Hyderabad chapters and other chapters, we can continue on this journey and improve the Indian participation at the ITF body. And this is some information about the IISOC, etc. And I will not take more time. And I would like to thank everyone for giving me an opportunity to talk about the work that we have been doing and opening up more venues for cooperation within our India region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was truly a great insight for all of us. Thank you once again. Yeah. Now, I would like to take the privilege to invite Mr. Ajith Francis, who is the Policy Programs Manager of the Secretariat of the Internet and Jurisdiction Policy Network, France, to kindly share his views on legal interoperability on the Internet.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the ISOC Hyderabad chapter team for inviting me. And I feel extremely grateful for this opportunity, especially since 10 years ago, I actually started my career in Hyderabad. So be part of the launch of the Hyderabad chapter of Internet Society is extremely gratifying. My name is Ajith Francis, and I work on legal interoperability issues on the internet. My background is not technical, so it goes towards showing how the internet is and the governance of the internet is multi-stakeholder, and everybody has a voice to play. It's not just for the techies. The organization I work for, Internet and Jurisdiction Policy Network, is a multi-stakeholder organization that focuses on addressing the tension between the cross-border nature of the internet and national jurisdictions. We do this by facilitating a process towards developing concrete legal interoperability solutions towards some of the challenges that we have with regards to clashes of national jurisdictions. Today, I don't have a set of answers to the questions. I only have a set of questions that I hope to sort of pose to the audience, sort of get a sense of the challenges that we have on the internet, and in particular towards the global access of the internet. Just a couple of weeks ago, Windsurf, the father of the internet, at the launch, one of the launch events that the INJ Policy Network had organized, stated, and I quote, "We have done fairly well from the internet point of view in terms of developing standards and coping with critical needs like unique identifiers. What we don't have are platforms and institutions that deal with legal interoperability on the internet." End quote. To get a sense of legal interoperability, we must first understand, I think, the foundation of the current international relations system, which is underpinned by the Westphalian model. The treaties of Westphalia, signed in Europe in 1648, put an end to the European 30 Years' War and are usually credited in international law for having enshrined the notion of territorial sovereignty through the principle of cuius regio, eius religio, which literally means whose realm, their religion. The internet is default by global. So, and some people go as far as saying that it's one of the few global non-rival public goods alongside the climate. However, the governance of this global resource, and here I'm not talking about the underlying infrastructure, is driven by a patchwork of national regulations. And this seems counterintuitive to have the governance of such a global resource fragmented across national boundaries with often contradictory positions. Two examples that I sort of run across in my day-to-day work have to do with content and with access to electronic evidence. On the first piece with regards to content, when any of you posts a piece of content on any of the social media platforms that you might be using, the reach of that particular piece of content by default is global. However, countries around the world have very different social, cultural, and legal norms surrounding what speech is legal and illegal in their country. Increasingly, many countries are trying to control the access of content within their own jurisdiction. And this does raise questions about censorship and restriction of freedom of expression. But there are also bigger challenges when one country forces its legal norms on the global accessibility of content. An example of the first case is Turkey's blockage of Wikipedia entirely in the country, blocking a whole platform for one piece of article that did not necessarily align with the political views in Turkey is not proportional under international law. Similarly, we also have this case in India recently where the government of India asked Twitter to take down a certain set of accounts, but without leaving ambiguity enough to question whether this should be taken down globally or only within India. There are increasing fragmentations and stress that's being put in place into existing mechanisms. And this is even more complicated when you have situations, let's say, when an imbalance is based on the country of incorporation of certain service providers. Hypothetically, if, let's say, the United States government or a court in the United States ruled to have some particular piece of content taken down in the US, would that result in a global takedown of that particular piece of content? And there's an imbalance there. Again, I don't have any solution here. It is just questions that I wanted to pose in today's session. The second example is with regards to electronic evidence. And the conflict of laws here is remarkable. And let me give you a real life example. I am an Indian citizen working in France using a device manufacturer in China running an American operating system and storing data around the world. If, let's say, I commit a crime or for some reason, or I'm a victim of a particular crime, and the law enforcement agencies need to have access to my background data, what sort of laws apply? Is it French law? Is it Indian law? Is it American law? Let me here also make a caveat that access to electronic evidence and surveillance are not the same thing. And also identify that states have an obligation to provide public order and safety to its citizens, and those citizens have a right to safety and life as well. A natural reaction to both of these challenges has been the push for countries push for digital sovereignty, which is saying my rules apply on every byte of data that will flow through my territory. And I'm sure the technical community present here can go in and explain in detail and in much better words why this is a challenge. Legal interoperability is not the miracle drug that will solve all our problems on the internet and the governance on the internet. It is a temporary one. I think the future of internet governance and our interactions on the internet will not be defined by our Westphalian identities, i.e. Indian citizen, Indian law, but depending on the identities that we choose and self-determine and curate on the internet in terms of having different policy regimes or different applicable norms for opting into different communities that we might be part of. Why should, just because I am an Indian citizen, be beholden to the Indian standard of privacy, which might be a higher or a lower threshold versus what a different regime offers? And just by the location of citizenship, just because I am based in one particular country, I should not be beholden to that particular regime and should, as a user, have the choice to decide what laws apply to me, or the regimes that apply to me instead of laws. I think, this is, in a nutshell, an introduction into legal interoperability. And I thank again the ISOC chapter in Hyderabad for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was great having you with us. So now it's time. So to be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. I'm very much delighted to take an opportunity to introduce our chief guest of today's event, who is the Chief Advisor, C4IR India, World Economic Forum, who have served in the Indian Administrative Service for 37 years. I admit I get goosebumps when I say this, and who have retired in 2014 as Secretary Department of IT, Government of India, and who have also served as Chairman for part-time in Unique Identification Authority of India, Government of India. Mr. G. Satyanarayana, sir, I request sir to give his valuable insights on eternal principles of Internet. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me give my hearty congratulations to Mr. Mohan, Raidu, and all the members of the managing committee of the Hyderabad chapter of Internet Society. It's my pleasure and privilege to be participating in this event, which marks the launching of the Hyderabad chapter of the Internet Society. This is a significant achievement, and I have been personally as well as professionally by career-wise associated with Hyderabad for almost 3 decades now, and from the early days or pre-internet days to today, I have been with it, and it's really I'm doubly happy on that account that Hyderabad is adding one more feather to its cap. So the mission of ISOC is to enrich people's lives and to empower them to create a bigger and stronger internet. I'm sure that the Hyderabad chapter of ISOC would spare no effort in moving rapidly to achieve this mission. The Internet Society has been playing the critical role of orchestrating the various activities of various players of the global ecosystem of the internet, namely the technology and governance organizations, service providers, policymakers, advocacy organizations, and the large user base of the internet. It's a complex job of coordination, harmonization, and balancing of interests and concerns of multiple stakeholders and the groups. As one of the billions of users of the internet, I thank and compliment ISOC for their immense contribution to the growth and sustenance of the internet. On this kind of very significant occasion, historic occasion, I would say, of this Hyderabad chapter getting launched, I intend to step back a little bit and recollect and remind some of the foundational principles of the internet. This I considered important for 2 reasons. Firstly, the internet is the most widely used technology today, with a user base of 4.66 billions, which has grown 10 times in the last 2 decades. Secondly, it is so transformative, so impactful, and so stable over such a long period. So the credit for all these superlatives and good qualities of the internet belong substantially to those foundational principles. These principles are comparable to the fundamental principles that shape the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. They are both democratic and empowering. They are eternally relevant despite the tremendous waves of change happening continuously and rapidly in the technology and the society. So in view of this importance, I thought it's this occasion requires for us to remind ourselves of those principles so that they are useful to us going forward. The principles of the internet continue to be as relevant today as they were in the early 80s. And while there are many principles, let me mention just 4 of them here. The first is the principle to connect diverse types and heterogeneous types of networks. The importance of this principle lies in the fact that each distinct network could stand on its own and need not have any internal changes made to connect to the internet. It's a classic case of federated architecture, so relevant now more than ever, especially in a country like India, where we have a federated governance system with the central government and state government and local government. The second principle is the principle of transparency and simplicity, which is reflected in its minimalistic approach, an open and democratic process of setting the standards and protocols. The speakers before me, especially from IETF, pointed out, the kind of rigorous, but at the same time open and transparent process in which these standards are set. So that continues to be relevant, not only for the internet, but any other thing which is built using or built over and above the internet. Thirdly, the principle of a layered protocol stack, which has allowed us to grow the internet so big, and it permits the fundamental logic behind it is the orthogonal and independent development of these various layers. So giving that kind of a flexibility and enormous growth potential. And fourth and last principle I would mention is the principle of distributed management, or a kind of a decentralized system of management, both on the technology side and on the various aspects of administering the internet. So this has led to the rapid globalization of the internet and exponential growth. If only it was centralized, I mean, the principle was to have a centralized mechanism, probably internet would have been what it is today. In terms of its size, potential, its various variety of things internet is doing today. So the principles of the World Wide Web, like the orthogonality, extensibility, error handling, and protocol-based interoperability, strengthen and foster the usage of internet in countless ways. So the principles of the internet, together with the World Wide Web principles, really make internet what it is today and useful to us in so many countless ways. For the last 4 decades, the internet has triggered and supported several transformative developments, like a communications revolution unheard of in the 20-30 years ago. Then e-commerce, e-governance, digital transformation, just to quote a few. The principles that have played a key role in the history of the internet continue to be highly relevant today for many exciting developments happening in the digital world. Ecosystem technologies, for instance, that span across disparate systems. That means from systems to ecosystems, we are raising the bar. So in this process, the basic principles of the internet are so very useful to us. The second is the developments around the big data and data economy. We are talking of, in India itself, a data economy of the size of $500 billion. So they're opening new horizons and huge business opportunities. So emerging technologies like AI, ML, DLT, and IoT are spurring innovation in all sectors, notably healthcare, agriculture, education, banking, insurance, and retail. In fact, the World Economic Forum and the Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution, which I'm advising currently, are working in large and significant projects in the area of how do you use these emerging technologies like AI, ML, and DLT and IoT in the areas like agriculture and healthcare and smart cities. So the principles of the internet continue to inspire and guide all these exciting developments. So that is the reason I thought this is an occasion where we should really revisit those principles and pay our respects and regards to those stalwarts and giants and thinkers who thought it fit to put those principles in place way back 4 decades ago. So the internet society has a huge, well, these are all positive side, but let me mention a few kind of concerns, that we are confronted with at this point of time. So the internet society has a huge responsibility ahead in addressing all these concerns. Let me mention a few of them. The complexity of the internet governance is one of the concerns. One of the speakers before me mentioned that it requires a multi-stakeholder approach to balance diverse perspective. some of which may be, almost, if not diverse, also may be conflicting in nature. So that's one of the challenges to be addressed. The second one is the responsible use of internet is to be advocated to ensure the protection of privacy, security, and ethics. With AI, coming big time now, ethics in the various algorithms and avoidance of the bias in data and several other aspects related to ethics in these AI solutions, it becomes a very important issue here. Third challenge is, adopting open and democratic process and establishing level playing field so as to foster competition and innovation. I mean, so that the global giants do not, leave any space for small and medium entrepreneurs to prosper. So we need to get a fair level playing field where there's a fair competition on the internet arena. A gigantic multi-sectoral approach is also needed to address the environmental concerns, which is the fourth concern I mentioned, with the usage of the internet reported to be contributing to about 3.7% of the greenhouse gases, amounting to 1.6 billion tons annually. So this is also one of the big problems that we need to address as internet society. A strong conviction in the deep-rooted and eternal principles of the internet will enable us to face these challenges effectively. I'm sure that the internet society will continue to play a pivotal role in these areas and lead the efforts to create a bigger and stronger internet. Once again, I congratulate the Hyderabad chapter of the Internet Society of India and wish them the best of success in their endeavors. I thank them for me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing your gracious presence and for joining us today. And you have just enhanced our joy so much. And thank you so much. I think this is a great occasion. Why not let us capture it? So now I request everyone to switch on their videos to have a quick group photo. All the delegates and chief guests, please switch on your videos. Prashant, just let me know when it's done so that I will know.
I request everyone to turn on the video. On a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Now I would like to invite Mr. Bala Prasad Beddigari, sir, to formally give away the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Renu and Arani, for the wonderful anchoring. So all starts well also need to be get to a closure. The future of internet is very, very promising, and I'm sure Internet Society Hyderabad chapter will be having a pivotal role to play in envisioning the future of internet and contribute to the overall policies, principles on the overall. I take the privilege to thank Christian, Senior Director, ISOC chapter and individual member, for explaining the purpose of Internet Society in connecting the members to define the policies and educate on the overall usage of internet and for the chapter, and also helping us in doing the chapter open declaration for the Internet Society India Hyderabad chapter. I thank Satish Babu for embracing the occasion and describing the relevance of ISOC in India, and further sharing the views on internet society history in India and describing how internet is becoming a lifeline today. I also thank Samiran Gupta for being part of the inaugural and sharing views on the internet governance and discussions. This will be definitely playing a very, very important role as we move forward. I thank Bopanna for enlightening on the digital policies and advocacy and associated projects such as strengthening and growth of the internet projects. I'm sure some of our members from this chapter will join and drive and contribute to the particular projects as well. I thanked Dhody for sharing the insights on the Internet Engineering Task Force to make internet work better by influencing the way people design, use, and manage the internet, and also explaining us about the significance of India Internet Engineering Society for making impactful contributions onto the internet standards. I thank Ajith Francis, who has shared his thoughts on and views on the legal interoperability on the internet. Definitely, it requires to connect the different heterogeneous networks to make it happen. Thank you, Ajith, for helping us understand the importance of that. I thank J. Satyanarayana for gracing this Internet Society Chapter Hyderabad Chapter Inaugural as a chief guest and sharing his thoughts on the eternal principles of the internet, where he enlightened us on the 4 important principles of eternal principles of the internet: principles of transparency and simplicity, principle of diverse and heterogeneous connectivity, principle of layered protocol stack, principle of distributed management. Thank you all the delegates for making this occasion very, very fruitful and purposeful. I thank all the Internet Society Managing Committee members, Mohan, Raidu, Salman, Abdul, Moiz, Adarsh, Vidyasagar, Nikhil, and others who played a significant role in making this particular inaugural happen. I also thank the functional committee chairs who will be playing a very important role as part of the functioning of this Internet Society India chapter: Dr. D.D. Sharma, D.S.K. Chakravarti, Nagini, J.V.K. Murthy, Kanakadurga, Madhavi, Srinivas Reddy, Shyamala, and Kamakshi Prasad. Most importantly, I want to thank the team behind this entire thing. And they are Sai Ishwant, Renu, Sai Prashant, and Harini, Vidyasagar, and Pranay, who played a very important key role in ensuring that the entire social media buzz is done with the brochures, and the entire program charter with the help of Mohan Raidu has been created and advocated. Thank you. You outreach volunteers have made a significant impact in reaching this entire chapter inauguration, reaching to the different members across Hyderabad. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have come to end. So now I request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
I request all the participants to stand for the national anthem.
Thank you so much. So thank you one and all for spending your valuable time and being with us today for our inaugural of the Internet Society chapter. Thanks to all. And once again, congratulations for the formation of Internet Society chapter at Hyderabad. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you all for making it to this event and making it a success. Thank you very much.
Yeah, congrats to you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful Saturday morning. And I request everyone to please visit our website, isocIndiaHyderabad.org to know more about ISOC India Hyderabad chapter, and also request you all to follow us on our social media handles to stay connected with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Congratulations again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And do not forget to get registered and be the member of Internet Society chapter.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to all the panelists and all our voluntary team as well.
Thank you, sir.